Can you guess what this is? Not yarn I found on the floor, but something called DMC floss. DMC floss is made up of 6 different strands of cotton all on this one strand that you can peel apart for embroidery or cross-stitching. Now there are 454 solid colors and 18 variegated, for a grand total of 472 different colors of floss. So you're bound to find your shade, tint, whatever you need, they have it. On July 4th, I and other students that I am with here in London studying abroad with NC State got to meet up with Jamie Chalmers, also known as Mr. X-Stitch, or Mr. X. Mr. X-Stitch started coming back in 2008, and he's a contemporary cross-stitcher. For him, cross-stitching is all about relaxation. And when he was talking about it to us, you could really see his face light up, and that spread to us. So he learned about cross-stitching when him and his now ex-wife were about to take a plane trip to Canada. And they were in a haberdashery store, and he thought, how funny would it be if someone big like me and manly were doing something that you'd expect a grandmother to do? Well, he did it, and he fell in love. On his website, he lists all different sections such as cross-stitch, hand embroidery, machine embroidery, hat making, also known as millinery, needle felting, plush toys, quilting, and weaving. He posts pictures from other people and artists for others for inspiration. Of course, he puts their name down so other people get credited. But for him, this website is all about inspiration and intertwining ideas and seeing how far we can get. For me, what I really love about Mr. X-Stitch is how he takes something that I would expect my grandmother to be doing cross-stitching, and he makes it for this time period. One of my favorite pieces of his is nothing too fancy, but he uses a glow-in-the-dark background, and on top of it, he cross-stitched a QR code onto it. Totally our generation, right? Well, this code actually leads to his website, which is mrxstitch.com. Be sure to check it out. And on there, he has all the different people's works as well as his own. So embroidery samples came around in 3000 BC on clothing. Since then, embroidery and cross-stitching has evolved from clothes to decor to samples. So back in the day, samples, schoolgirls, that was their schooling. They would cross-stitch on their ABCs, their letters, and that's how they would learn. Then, they would move on to little chests, etc. So it became more of an art after they learned. So today, you don't really see it around too much. But when you do see people, it's more for relaxation, again, decor, a lot of exploration of colors and, because the stitch necessarily isn't so difficult, but the blending of colors is a whole nother story. So from onto there, I wanted to show you what we did there. So this is my piece, Gay Pride. And when we got there, he had these little things we could follow that has a grid on there, so you can actually count over on the cloth and do whatever you want. I instead decided to just kind of freehand, so you see I sketched it on, and then I just cross-stitched onto there. Now here, I was just messing around. This is still a cross-stitch, it's just not one cross, one block over. I just kind of did whatever I wanted to. And eventually I'll fill this up and it'll be rainbow. But my friend Rachel happened to follow this grid right here, NC State, Go Pack, and I'm going to show you her progress so far. So this is it. She's still in the process right here. So what basically a cross stitch is you come up and you start in one place, right? So she came up here. She finishes the diagonals. Keeps going. Okay, she's at this point. Let's say that this is the end. Then she would come back and do the other side of the cross. So basically, it's bottom left to top right for that whole row. And then you do the opposite corner. And that is a cross stitch. And you can see right here how awesome it really is. And I just like to show how different they look. Hers, obviously very rigid and structured, versus mine, which isn't so much. Now these are just two of the works that we did there today. So imagine what you could do. Do you think you could mix the two aspects of counting and freehanding? Who knows? Try it out and visit our blog post for other pictures.